How's it going? Thanks for taking the time to watch this quick webinar on how to become a franchise consultant in the IFPG network. We built this webinar to give anybody who is interested in becoming a consultant within our network a good idea of the franchising industry and how large it is and how much potential it actually contains for a franchise consultant. And then on top of that, a good idea of who we are here at IFPG, where we came from, why we started, and how a network like this can benefit someone like you. So to start, I actually want to start out with a question. And this question is, I want you to think of how many people you know that currently work in sales. And out of those people that you know that currently work in sales, what industries do they work in? So I know personally, people who work in technology, manufacturing, medical, pharmaceutical. I mean, any industry that you can think of, I probably know someone who works within that industry as a salesperson. So now as you're thinking of those people that you know that work within sales, how many of them sell franchises? And if you're not currently familiar with franchising or franchise sales, I'm willing to bet that you do not know a single person that works within the franchising industry right now. And I say that because before I entered the franchising world, I was in the same exact boat. Not only did I not know that people actually worked as franchise consultants and franchise brokers, but I didn't even know a position like that existed. And so keeping this in mind and keeping in mind how many people you know that currently work as a franchise developer or franchise consultant, I want to do a quick experiment. So if you were to leave your house right now or your office or wherever you may be, I want you to either visualize or actually go out in your car and drive down the road a couple blocks. And as you're driving, I want you to count how many franchises you pass. So whether it be McDonald's, Subway, H&R Block, Jiffy Lube, 7-Eleven, Dunkin' Donuts, Planet Fitness, Gold's Gym, I want you to look at all these different franchises that really exist and see realistically how massive this industry is. And so currently there are 800,000 franchise units in the US. And someone got paid to sell every single one of those, with the average commission right now in franchising being about $25,000. And so now let's go back to the first question where I asked you, how many people do you know that work in franchise sales? And if your answer was 0 or even 10, keep in mind someone got paid $25,000 to sell every single one of those franchises that you just passed driving down the road. And I'm also willing to bet that you passed tons of other businesses that you had no idea was a franchise. And so the industry for this is massive. And if those two numbers, how many franchises you just passed and how many people you know that sell franchises don't automatically scream out to you that this has tons of potential, I don't know what will. And so who buys a franchise? There's a myth that I'm sure you probably think right now that somebody who owns a Subway or somebody that owns one of these franchises you just passed is probably a multimillionaire who decided to invest in it and they're completely hands off. And, majority of the time that is just not true. The typical person who's looking to invest in a franchise is your normal everyday American hard worker who's looking to make a change in their life. And so right now, there are 125.57 million workers in the U.S., where 70% of them hate their jobs. And they can hate it for different reasons. They can hate it because, they could be a VP within their company making really good money, but in order to work that position, they have to work 60 to 70 hours a week, and they aren't able to spend any time with their family or do things that they enjoy. Or, they can hate it because they're a painter who works under a painting company and they make $40,000 a year, and they're sick of working their butt off when they feel they could probably do it better than their boss can. So these are the type of people who are willing and wanting to make a change for the better. And so the average commission, keep in mind, being $25,000, on average, there's 15,000 new franchises sold yearly. And so not even talking about the financial aspect of being a consultant within franchising, I would honestly have to say it's probably one of the most rewarding careers out there. because of the fact that you're dealing with people every single day who are betting on themselves. They're taking a risk and they're wanting to change their lives for the better. They're wanting to have more financial freedom. They're wanting to have more freedom of time to spend with their families or to do things that they enjoy, or they just want to continue to progress in life. And so you as a franchise consultant, you're able to help them not only make this decision, but also make this jump to a better lifestyle and achieve these goals that they're trying to hit. And so the big question would be, why IFPG? So I'm going to be completely honest with you. There are different franchise consultant networks out there similar to IFPG. But IFPG started because of the fact that we wanted to accomplish two different goals. One, we wanted to make sure that every single potential franchisee who was looking to buy a franchise coming in has the best options available to them. And then also we wanted to make sure that every consultant who is entering into our network would be 100% rewarded for their hard work. And so we were able to do this in two different ways. The first one being, right now we represent, I think it's about 370 of the best brands in franchising. And so what this allows us to do, and what it allows our consultants to do, is rather than hopping on a phone call with a candidate who said, I'm interested in buying a franchise, I have $100,000 liquid capital that I can invest, rather than our consultants having to shove the same 5 brands down that person's throat every single time, now we're able to say, great, let's see what your interests are. Tell me a little bit about your past experience. Let's see where you live. Let's realistically find the best fit for you. So when it comes time for you to buy a franchise, you're making the best choice possible for yourself. And then the second one, as I mentioned before, being we want to make sure that we're taking care of our consultants. And so the big way that we do this is we do not have commission splits within IFPG. And so the way some of these other networks actually function is when a consultant buys into the network and enters the network, every deal that they close from that point on, they're paying anywhere between a 10 to 20% commission split. And from the get-go, this could be appealing. So they enter the network. They're starting to use some of the leads that this network's providing to them. For the first 6 months in their first couple of deals, they look at it as, no problem. They're providing me some leads. I'm happy to pay them $5,000 or $6,000 or whatever it may be every deal that I close. But as you become more experienced and you're attending more networking events and you're running your own Facebook ads and you're doing your own SEO on your website and you're generating your own leads, there's absolutely no reason you should be paying a commission split on any of this. And so what happens is consultants, now that they've been in business for 2-3 years and they're making tons of sales every single year, and all of these sales are coming off of their own leads, they're still paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in commission splits when they're the one doing all the work. So here at IFPG, we wanted to say, we want to make sure that we offer you that same initial support for those first 6 months as you get up and running. We want to help you make as many sales as possible. But then the moment you become self-sustaining and you're able to generate your own leads and you're making more sales every year, there's no way you should be penalized and have to do a commission split for that. So what you get with investing in IFPG. So the very first thing I'm going to say is, once again, we built this to make sure we're taking care of our consultants. And one way we did that is with that initial investment. So right now, to enter in any other network, a consultant can expect to spend anywhere between $20,000 to $70,000 to get into that network. So we said, you know what, we're going to make it as affordable as possible. It's going to be $19,900 to get in our network, and we want to make sure that with that initial investment, you're receiving as much support and as many tools as possible to go out and be successful. And so with that investment, you're going to receive the IFPG consultant training. So this is awesome. It's going to teach you not only how to be a consultant and how to work with the different brands, but also it's going to teach you how you need to be working with your different candidates, questions you should be asking, and essentially the training and the skill sets you're going to need to receive to be successful as a franchise consultant. You're going to receive a 1-year subscription to our CRM. So this is great for you to track any candidates you're talking to, where they're at in the sales cycle, and make sure that you are staying organized. You receive your consultant website. So we help you build your own personal website plus 1 year of website hosting. So this is going to be an awesome tool. Any candidate you speak to and they Google you, they're going to find your website, see that you are official and you do know what you're talking about. But then also when you start generating your own leads, you definitely want people visiting your website and seeing that you are a professional. You get your initial leads. So this does come with initial leads. As I mentioned before, those first 6 months, we do want to provide you with the support and the leads to be able to go out and make your first couple of sales. You get access and entrance to the IFPG annual retreat. So this is where we bring in all our franchisors to meet with all of our consultants. And this is an awesome event because this is where you're able to build relationships with all the different brands that you're working with. And in all honesty, it's within each one of these brands' best interest to impress you. So they want to show you that they're doing what it takes to close the candidates that you're sending to them, and they want to establish a great relationship with you. And then you get 90 days of mentorship. So from the time that you purchase and you go through the training, any questions you have, like I said, we want to make sure that we're setting you up to be successful, because at the end of the day, we don't want any random person in our network. We want somebody who's going to come in, be successful, be able to make sales, because our reputation is 100% everything. And we want, when franchisors want or are considering putting their brand into our network, to know that we have a reputation of producing results. And so we want to make sure you have the support to where you're able to go out and produce. Reoccurring costs. So once again, extremely affordable. That's what we focus on. So it's $150 a month for the IFPG consultant membership. So this keeps you within our network, allows you to continue to represent our different brands, have access to our different consultants within the network with any questions you have. It's $89 a month for the franchise sales CRM, so you can continue to manage all your different leads in your pipelines, and then $100 a year for your website hosting. So once again, extremely inexpensive, and keep in mind, I would much rather be paying this than paying $6,000 every single sell that I make. And if I'm making 20 sales a year, I mean, you can do the math on your own. So reach out with any questions. Like I said, we are extremely excited with what we're doing here at IFPG. We feel this is a great opportunity for anybody, whether you're currently in franchising or new to it. And so any questions, there's our website down below. That's my email and my telephone number. Give me a call, shoot me an email, shoot me a text message. And let's see if this is a good fit for you. I'll be completely honest with you from the get-go. If I feel this is going to be something you're going to be successful with, I will 100% tell you. And if it's something I feel it's probably not within your best interest, I will 100% tell you. Just as if you were a franchise consultant, you wouldn't want to sell a bad opportunity to one of your candidates. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, and I look forward to hearing from you.